Hello there. Police officers are traipsing through UK hotel real estate to give newcomers lectures on how to treat women. So one PowerPoint presentation by a copper is meant to wipe away 2 or 3 decades of ingrained cultural behaviour. Because that's exactly what it sounds like to me. In what is described as an initiative, the police in Northamptonshire are telling asylum seekers to show women equal respect and not harass them, or they face arrest. The police also have to inform them that violence of any kind is unacceptable. And I have to ask, what's brought all this on at so late in the day? Why are they talking to our new doctors, nurses, architects, engineers, plumbers, electricians and veterinary surgeons like this? Why do they feel the need to do this? Are the police telling these people that their cultural ways are incompatible or inferior to ours? How dare they? Surely the woke lefty open borders types will be lodging complaints against the police for this sort of profiling style behaviour. I mean, we're constantly told by those that support multiculturalism how superior the newcomers' cultures are compared to ours. So they must bring their cultures here so we can learn from them. That they enrich our society no end, and in fact it was they that built this great country in the first place. That's what we're told, isn't it? And the establishment, including the police services, are packed to the gunnels with people who believe all that guff, aren't they? So how come their chain of command now feels the need to conduct this type of exercise? To go against the very woke training that told them everyone is the same and that people only come here to better their lives and to work hard and help the prosperity of the UK. How could these officials even think that our newcomers had anything except equal views as us where attitudes to women, children and animals are concerned? And doesn't feeling the need to lecture foreigners in this way smack of establishment racism and white privilege? After all the years and decades of newcomers rocking up on our shores, we now have to resort to this because we weren't tough enough in enforcing our laws right from the start. Because we allowed ourselves to be dictated to by open borders woke socialists. And if this isn't proof that multiculturalism has failed, then I don't know what is. For the rose-tinted spectacle types, culture just means different clothes and hats, different music, bright colours, and trying new delicacies and tasting various forms of tea and the like. What they either are ignorant of or willfully ignore is that culture also encompasses the religious and attitudes towards women, children and animals, and different attitudes to what is and isn't a crime and or corruption. Now a quick interjection, please like, subscribe and comment below and become a channel member to get extra content like this for less than the price of a pint in a London pub every month by clicking on the join button or following the link in the descriptions box below on a laptop or desktop computer. And much of these cultural differences are deeply ingrained, and where the whole multiculti philosophy falls apart at the seams. And a few police officers visiting our hotels packed with newcomers is not going to alter any of that anytime soon. Because as a country, we fail to look at the complete cultural package. We cherry-pick so as to ignore the obvious difficulties of letting people with entrenched cultural views, some of which are a danger to us, into our community. In fact, we were commanded that we must let them in for the sake of diversity. But all this will only just get worse, because it may have passed some by, but it's not just rubber boats that people are arriving on now. This from the Mail. Border Force lacks the resources to deal with an increasing number of migrants coming to Britain illegally on yachts, motorboats and trawlers, officials have warned. Growing numbers of migrants are entering the country irregularly by private vessels rather than aboard small boats, a Borders trade union said. And the Mail report goes on to quote Lucy Morton of the Union for Borders, Immigration and Customs, the ISU, as saying, "What we are seeing more of now is small yachts being used to transport people. They can start from the Brittany coast in France and then sail into one of the small ports around the UK or get dropped off in the water." Yep, there's a lot of money to be made from people trafficking and more than a sufficient number of the unprincipled ready to make it. As far as I'm concerned, if caught, the vessel should be impounded and scrapped. But the big thing that should have alerted us to these cultural dangers is that our courts fail to allow us to send those who break our laws back to their countries of origin. Because it would not be safe for the perpetrator to be sent back. So a person who came here from what the courts deem as a dangerous place ended up being a danger to us that we can't send back. Is that what it's telling us? Now, I'm not claiming that's true in 100% of cases, but surely it's a good indicator that we should be very, very careful about letting people from certain areas of the world into this country, then letting them wander about at will. But not letting them in to do as they please is, of course, racist, isn't it? The very fact that we've now been forced to resort to this weak-kneed, lecturing way of trying to salvage what's left of mutual respect and law and order in this country tells us all we need to know about the complete failure of the probably 3 decades or more policy of opening our borders to all comers has been. And now we have the Tory leader, Kemi Badenoch, talking about Denmark's so-called ghetto laws. Areas where the government can evict people from social housing in poor areas where over half the population is what is termed as non-Western. All to try and prevent the ghettoisation of immigrants into parallel communities that do not assimilate. And that policy would, I assume, mean forcibly relocating thousands of Westerners into certain areas of the country in which maybe they don't want to live. Either that or paying them to do so. What a dangerous place the last few decades of our political masters have made the UK. And still inward migration of all sorts remains off the charts. But it's all okay, we've got a copper with a PowerPoint presentation. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below, and a big shout out to our members and Patreon supporters, and thank you for watching.